My name is Quinn, and I am a 28-year-old assistant manager at a small marketing firm. I always thought of myself as a friendly person. I enjoy meeting new people and helping my team with their work. My job is important to me because I want to grow my career. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other. My parents worked hard to provide for us. They taught me the value of hard work and kindness. Right now, I feel stuck and overwhelmed at work. My boss gave me the responsibility of managing a new project for a big client. This is a great chance for me, but I also feel a lot of pressure. There are deadlines to meet, and my team looks to me for guidance. I worry that I am not ready for this responsibility. I have never led a project like this before. Every morning, I wake up with butterflies in my stomach. I can't shake the feeling of doubt. I sit in my car for a few minutes before going into the office, trying to breathe and calm my mind. I know I have to be strong for my team, but it is hard to pretend that everything is okay. I often think about my past failures. I remember the time I tried to organize a team event. It did not go well, and I felt embarrassed. I am scared that history will repeat itself. In the last few weeks, I have been reading books about time management and teamwork. I want to learn how to communicate better with my team. I want to help them feel comfortable sharing their ideas. Everyone at work has their strengths, but sometimes we struggle to work together. I enjoy listening to my colleagues, but I fear that I do not have enough experience to lead them. One thing I love outside of work is painting. I find it relaxing to create art. When I paint, I forget my worries for a while. I often think about how to balance my creative side with my professional life. Sometimes, painting helps me think clearly when I face challenges. I feel happy when I mix colors on a canvas. I wish I could bring that joy to my job. I want my team to feel excited and creative too. As I think about my project, I know I need to make a plan. But making plans feels difficult with all the pressure around me. I must gather my team, discuss our goals, and ask for their input. I sigh as I think about these steps. Part of me wants to avoid confrontation, fearing they will judge my ideas. The other part of me knows that I must find the courage to lead. I have to overcome this conflict inside me if I want to succeed in my job. Each day feels like a new challenge, and I often find myself questioning if I can do it. Balancing my feelings of excitement and fear is hard. But deep down, I have a hope that I can face these struggles head-on. I want to learn and grow from them. Each morning, as I walk into the office, I remind myself that this is my chance to prove that I can be a good leader. It is time to step out of my comfort zone and embrace this opportunity with an open heart. As the days went on, I found that leading my team was more difficult than I expected. It felt like every time I took a step forward, I stumbled back 2 steps. My project was important, but so were the people I worked with. The pressure from my boss made things worse. But the biggest challenge came from a coworker named Jordan. At first, I thought Jordan was just joking. But soon, I realized that their comments were not funny at all. I felt uneasy every time I was near them. One morning during a team meeting, I presented my ideas for the project. I was nervous but tried to sound confident. I believe we can use social media to reach more customers, I said, my voice steady. Suddenly, Jordan cut in with a sneer, yeah, right, like you have any good ideas. Why don't you stick to managing files, Quinn? I felt my face flush with embarrassment. My heart raced as laughter filled the room. I wanted to defend myself, but I kept quiet, not wanting to cause trouble. After the meeting, I sat at my desk feeling the weight of Jordan's words. I kept thinking how unkind they were. In the days that followed, Jordan continued to make snide remarks whenever they had the chance. It was like a storm gathering inside me, growing stronger each time. I often caught myself thinking that maybe I could not lead this team after all. Each time Jordan made a rude comment, I felt smaller and less confident. Their laughter haunted me, echoing in my mind when I tried to focus on my work. I tried to brush off the comments, hoping they would stop, but instead, it only made things worse. One afternoon, I overheard Jordan talking to another coworker. Quinn doesn't know what they are doing. It's funny to watch them try. I felt my stomach drop. Those words stung. I wanted to yell, to show everyone that their words hurt me, but I was frozen in place, too afraid to confront Jordan. Instead, I settled for feeling defeated. My boss, Miss Harper, was not making things easier either. She often seemed very busy, only stopping by my desk to ask if I had done things right. I longed for her support, but her quick comments left me doubting my abilities. "I expect more from you, Quinn," she would say, with a sharp look. I could feel Jordan's laughter echoing in my head whenever Miss Harper expressed her doubts. It felt like I was stuck between two fires, both burning away my confidence. Anxiety began creeping into my daily routine. I found it hard to sleep at night. When I woke up each morning, I did not feel excited to go to work. Instead, I worried about facing Jordan and the expectations of my boss. I sat through meetings wishing for encouragement rather than disdain. I began to wonder if I should talk to someone about this, but every time I thought about standing up for myself, a wave of fear washed over me. Would they listen? Or would they just laugh at me again? I was tired of feeling this way. I realized that I needed to change something. As hard as it seemed, I thought perhaps I could find strength within me. I wanted to show Jordan that their words would not defeat me. I had to remember that I was capable and that I could lead my team. Even if the road was tough, I would find a way to hold my head high. Maybe it was time to turn this negativity into fuel for my fire. It was time to take charge of my situation. Days passed, and the stress at work only grew. Each day felt heavier than the last. I tried to keep my focus on the project, but my mind would drift back to Jordan's comments. Their hurtful words played in my head like a loop. I found it hard to think clearly. My confidence faded, and I worried more about what people would say. Even the smallest tasks became tricky. Some days, I sat at my desk, staring at the computer without typing anything. I knew my team needed direction, but I felt lost. My heart raced each time I had to talk during meetings. I wanted to share my ideas, but my mouth felt dry, and fear blocked my words. After Jordan's jokes, my team looked at me with doubt. Maybe they thought I could not lead. They respected me less because of the bullying. One morning, while drinking coffee, I overheard two colleagues chatting. "Did you see Quinn?" They looked almost scared, one said. I felt a wave of sadness wash over me. It was true, I was scared. I felt so alone, sitting in a room with people but not feeling part of the team. It was tough to be surrounded by others yet feel completely isolated. My thoughts raced. Should I fight back? Maybe I should say something to Jordan. But what if they turned it into another joke? Should I stay quiet and try to ignore it? I thought about quitting, about leaving all of this behind. Yet, each time I thought about giving up, I felt a small fire in my heart. I didn't want to let Jordan win. I wanted to succeed, to show everyone that I could do my job well. On a particularly tough day, I sat down for lunch alone in the break room. My hands shook as I picked at my food. I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. Why am I even here? I whispered to myself. My reflection in the shiny lunch table felt distant, like I was watching someone else. I began to question myself and my abilities. Maybe I wasn't cut out for this job after all. The heaviness of my doubts wrapped around me like a thick fog, making the simple act of focusing on my meal hard. I wanted to cry but held back the tears. I thought of my parents and their hard work. They taught me to keep going, but that was challenging now. Everything felt heavy, and the thought of confronting Jordan felt bigger than ever. I wanted to stand up for myself, but fear kept pulling me down. Would it really make a difference, or would it only make things worse? As I sat alone, I thought of ways to handle the situation. Maybe if I took one small step, it could help clear the fog. I realized that I needed to take control of my career. Ironically, I remembered how much I enjoyed painting. It always helped me find my focus when I felt lost. Perhaps I could use that passion to give me the strength to fight back or stand up for myself. I finished my lunch feeling uncertain but knew I had to make a choice. I couldn't stay in this limbo forever. I had to find my voice, believe in my worth, and stop letting Jordan's words define how I felt. It was time to take a stand, even if it felt scary. I took a deep breath and promised myself to change this. I would reclaim my confidence and show everyone that I was capable of leading. The journey ahead was challenging, but I had to start. The day I dreaded finally came. We had a big presentation to deliver to our client, and I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. I spent hours preparing. My plan was clear, and I practiced my part repeatedly, trying to overcome the stress. But on that morning, my anxiety felt more intense than ever. Sitting at my desk, I glanced at the clock, feeling time slip away. It was almost time for the meeting, and my heart ached with fear. As I entered the conference room, I saw my team seated around the table. Their faces held a mix of excitement and nervousness. I took a deep breath to calm my nerves. Just as I was about to start, I caught a glimpse of Jordan standing by the door, smirking. In that moment, icy fear gripped my chest. I could feel the pressure building. It was almost suffocating. My presentation began, and my hands shook as I spoke. I noticed Jordan whispering to another coworker. "There goes Quinn again, thinking they can lead us." A wave of humiliation washed over me, but I tried to stay focused. I presented my ideas about marketing strategies, but their laughter buzzed in my ears like a swarm of bees, making it hard to think. I felt a knot tightening in my stomach with every snare. When I reached the best part of my presentation, I stumbled over my words. The confidence I had built felt like it was slipping away. Miss Harper looked at me, and I could see concern in her eyes. "Quinn, are you okay?" she asked. I wanted to reply, to tell her everything was fine, but no words came. Instead, I stood frozen. I felt like my world was crashing around me. My cheeks flushed as I noticed Jordan shake their head. "Maybe you should just give up, Quinn. You don't have it in you," they said loudly, causing several eyes to turn in my direction. The laughter rang again, and my pulse raced. In that moment, I felt anger and hurt bubbling inside me, pushing against a wall I had built for too long. My heart was heavy with disbelief. How could anyone be so cruel? I was so embarrassed that tears threatened to spill over my eyes. I realized I had reached my breaking point. I could not allow Jordan's words or actions to define my worth any longer. With a sudden burst of determination, I took a breath and spoke up. "I am here to present my ideas, and I believe we can make this project succeed," I said, forcing my voice to remain steady. I looked at my team, gathering my courage to speak louder. "Everyone deserves respect. I want us to work together. Bullying won't help us achieve our goals." The silence in the room was shocking. I had done it. I had found my voice in a moment of fear. However, even as I spoke, doubt lingered at the edges of my mind. I thought of my past failures and wondered if I was overstepping. What if I was just making things worse? Yet, deep down, I knew I had to stand up. It was now or never. I was tired of feeling small and unworthy. After so long, it felt liberating to speak my truth. In that tense moment, I realized that nothing could change unless I stood firm. Jordan's laughter no longer felt like a weight on my shoulders. It was a challenge that made me stronger. I could feel the collective tension in the room shift. I remembered my worth, the passion I had for this job, and the skills I had developed over time. I was not just Quinn, I was a leader and a creator. This was my moment to break free from the darkness and step into the light. After I found my voice, the tension in the room was thick. Everyone stared at me, and I could see a mixture of surprise and concern on their faces. For a fleeting moment, I thought I felt a sense of victory. But just as quickly, a wave of anxiety washed over me. I realized that I had crossed a line. I had challenged Jordan, and now I was scared about what might come next. The silence was heavy, pressing down on me. My heart pounded inside my chest as I took a deep breath. Miss Harper cleared her throat, and I immediately felt nervous again. "Quinn, I appreciate your passion, but we must maintain professionalism in our meetings," she said gently. Her words felt like ice, cutting through the small bit of confidence I had managed to gather. I wanted to explain myself, to say that I was only trying to do my best, but the words drifted away into silence. I felt heat rise to my face as I looked around the table. I could see Jordan smirking, their eyes shining with satisfaction. It was as if they were waiting for my mistake. My hands started to shake, and I could hardly focus on what Miss Harper was saying. All I could hear was the pounding of my heart and the laughter of Jordan echoing in my mind. Despite my attempt to stand up for myself, I felt more alone than ever. As the meeting came to a close, I sat quietly, lost in thoughts filled with regret. Had I really done the right thing? Perhaps I should have stayed silent and let Jordan have their say. Would I face consequences now? I could feel the weight of doubt crushing me, filling me with guilt. I longed to escape, to disappear from the pressure and unease surrounding me. Once everyone left the room, I remained seated, staring at my notes. I had a critical role on this project, and now I felt I had ruined it all. What if I missed this chance for growth and achievement? I couldn't shake those dangerous thoughts. I felt trapped in a cycle of fear and failure, questioning everything and everyone around me. My fingers trembled as I packed my things. Anxiety surged through me, making it hard to breathe. I glanced at the exit, wishing I could just walk away from it all. Instead of taking a step forward, I felt my feet glued to the ground. I wanted to flee from this place, to escape the bullying, the judgment, and the weight that felt suffocating. The self-doubt crept in closer. What am I doing here? I asked silently. I felt ashamed to be in this role. Each minute that passed only deepened the shadows in my mind. This moment was the lowest point for me. My confidence was shattered, and the burdens of responsibility felt overwhelming. I thought about my hopes of a successful career. All of it seemed so far away now. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. How could I move forward from this dark place? I felt overwhelmed, everything seemed impossible. I wanted to turn back time to avoid the confrontation. But deep down, I knew that I could not. I had spoken out, and even in my confusion, I realized I wanted to be strong. Somewhere within me, a faint flicker of hope remained. I still longed for change. I forced myself to take a step, gathering the strength to face whatever came next. But the wave of uncertainty lingered, making it hard to believe that I could rise from this moment of despair. As I sat alone in my office, I felt the weight of disappointment pressing down on me. My thoughts buzzed like angry wasps, and each moment felt heavier than the last. I wanted to escape, to hide from my feelings of shame and sadness. The echo of my confrontation with Jordan rang in my mind. I shouldn't have stood up, I kept thinking, but somewhere deep down, I knew that wasn't the whole truth. It was then that my good friend, Mia, knocked softly on my office door. She walked in, concern in her eyes. "Hey, Quinn," she said, taking a seat across from me. "I saw what happened in the meeting. Are you okay?" I looked at her, feeling vulnerable. "I messed up, Mia. I spoke out, and now I feel like I ruined everything." Tears started to form, but I pushed them back. Mia leaned in, with genuine empathy. "You didn't mess up. You stood up for yourself," she replied softly. "That takes courage, Quinn. Not everyone can do that." Her words struck a chord deep inside me. I thought about how long I had let Jordan's laughter silence me. Mia's encouragement made me reflect. Yes, it was scary, but why should I allow anyone to take away my voice? Standing up didn't mean I had failed, it meant I was finally fighting back. As we talked, I began to feel the fog of despair lift slightly. I shared my thoughts with Mia. What if they don't respect me anymore? What if Ms. Harper is upset too? I confessed. Mia smiled and shook her head. "You took a stand and showed your team that you believe in what you're doing. That is powerful. You might even inspire others to be strong, too." I took a deep breath, searching for a way to understand my fears. I realized that being a leader meant being true to myself, even when it felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to go back to being quiet and afraid. That was not who I was meant to be. In that moment of reflection, clarity washed over me. I didn't want my past failures to hold me back. I would not be defined by a few harsh words from Jordan. With each moment I spent with Mia, my heart softened, and my determination grew stronger. I knew that I could not let Jordan have the power to control my feelings anymore. I was more than their attempts to belittle me. I had ideas, creativity, and the strength to lead my team. I wanted to help everyone feel valued and respected. Mia's words inspired me. I was ready to change the narrative. "Thank you for talking to me," I said, feeling a new sense of strength bubbling inside me. "I think I need to put myself out there again. I want to keep moving forward." The weight on my chest began to lift, replaced with a lightness I hadn't felt in a while. That conversation ignited a fire in me. I realized that every setback was an opportunity to learn. I didn't need to fear the truth, I needed to embrace it, no matter how challenging it felt. With renewed determination, I left the office feeling a shift in my heart. It was time to face the storm head-on and show my team who I truly was. I wanted to lead from a place of strength, not fear. As I walked towards the meeting room once more, I felt ready. Change was possible, and while the path ahead might not be perfect, I would no longer shy away from my challenges. Now I was determined to step boldly into my role and support my team, showing them that we could rise above negativity together. Falling action. After my conversation with Mia, I felt a rush of energy. I had accepted my fears, learned from my mistakes, and let go of the hold that Jordan's words had on me. With renewed purpose, I headed back to the meeting room. I could hear the chatter of my team as they discussed our project. When I walked in, their conversations quieted. I could sense their eyes on me, curious about how I would handle the situation now. Taking a deep breath, I remembered the strength I had found. "Team, I want to talk," I started, my voice steady. As they looked at me, I felt their attention shift from doubt to interest. "I realized that I need to do better to support each of you. I want us to feel safe sharing ideas without fear." The room stayed still, and for a moment, I could see small smiles starting to appear on some faces. I shared my thoughts about teamwork, how important it was for us to uplift each other. I spoke about my earlier fears and how they almost held me back. "I have a great team, and together we can achieve amazing things. Let's create an environment where everyone feels respected," I explained. Their faces brightened, showing agreement with my words. I saw relief wash over some as if my honesty had inspired hope. As the discussion moved forward, my team began to open up. One colleague, Sarah, spoke about her ideas for our project. "I think it's important to listen to each other," she said. "When we share and support one another, we can build something great." I smiled, glad to see positive reactions. I had been afraid that my earlier stand would create divisions, but instead, it had brought us closer. Jordan was uncharacteristically quiet during the meeting, and I saw this as an opportunity to take back control. Instead of letting their actions lead our energy downwards, I focused on my team and encouraged everyone. It felt good to challenge negative feelings in favor of positivity. My heart swelled with pride as I saw my team members nodding in support of one another. After the meeting, I approached Sarah. "Thanks for your support in there," I said, feeling grateful for her leadership. "I think together, we can show everyone that teamwork is powerful." She smiled, and it felt like a spark had ignited something special between us. It was a turning point for my confidence, knowing I had peers willing to stand by me as we all tried to improve. That night, I reflected on our discussions. I understood that leadership is not just about giving orders but creating a space for everyone to be heard. Helping my team foster respect and trust was essential. We could all uplift one another and create a shared positive culture. My heart was no longer heavy but light, filled with hope for the future. I knew that challenges could still come our way, but I now believed that I was equipped to face them. We would thrive together if we spoke positively and worked as one team. The weight of doubt that had kept me down was gone. I felt empowered, ready to support my team and myself as we moved forward. This newfound confidence opened doors to possibilities I hadn't seen before. I realized that I had the power to change my thoughts and actions. Rather than feeling helpless, I could help create an environment of growth and success. I was no longer afraid of the dark moments. They had shown me the light, and I felt prepared to share that light with others. With my determination in hand, I was ready to charge ahead and embrace the future. With a renewed sense of purpose, I stepped into the office each day with greater confidence. I was determined to create a supportive environment for my team, and that meant setting clear boundaries. The next week, I made it a point to talk to Ms. Harper about my concerns. I wanted her to understand the impact of Jordan's behavior on morale, particularly how it affected my team and me. When I entered her office, my hands felt a bit shaky, but I took a deep breath. "Miss Harper, can we talk for a moment?" I asked, my voice firm but respectful. She looked up from her computer, a bit surprised but nodded. As I explained the challenges we faced with Jordan's negativity, I could see a change in Miss Harper's expression. She listened carefully, and for the first time, I felt seen. I shared specific examples of Jordan's behavior, detailing how it had knocked down our confidence as a team. "Thank you for telling me this, Quinn," she said kindly, a serious look on her face. I did notice tensions, but I didn't know they were this bad. Her reaction boosted my courage, taking away the doubt that used to weigh me down. I finally felt like I was standing up for myself and my team. As the days went on, I was more vocal in meetings, encouraging my teammates to share their ideas without fear. Jordan would sometimes try to make snide comments, but instead of letting them slide, I responded calmly. "I think different opinions help us grow," I would say, reminding everyone that we each had a voice that mattered. My approach changed the atmosphere. People began to smile and offer their insights. However, some of my colleagues were uncertain. I could sense that Jordan felt threatened by my change in behavior. They would shoot annoyed glances my way, trying to intimidate me into silence. I stood tall, refusing to budge. "You can be part of this team positively, Jordan, or we can all work toward making a healthier space together," I said in one meeting. I was surprised at my own words. I felt strong for the first time. One afternoon, during a break, a few colleagues approached me. "Quinn, we appreciate how you stood up to Jordan," said Mark, one of my teammates, leaning forward. "It's nice to have someone who shares their thoughts. It helps us all." Hearing their support helped build my inner strength further. I realized how important it was to have this solidarity. Together, we were working toward a common goal. However, there were still moments of doubt creeping back in. Would my actions ultimately lead to confrontation or even retaliation from Jordan? Those feelings occasionally gripped my heart with anxiety. But instead of hiding, I shared my thoughts with Mia, who always encouraged me. "You are making good changes, Quinn," she reassured me. "In any workplace, standing up means you might face challenges, but you are not alone." Her confidence inspired me to push forward. I decided to keep my matter-of-fact conversations going with Ms. Harper and even started encouraging my teammates more publicly. It felt powerful to support each other, creating an uplifting space where we could all thrive. Even as Jordan tried to resist this positive shift, others seemed to rally behind my efforts. They found strength, too, and gradually began to speak up during meetings, sharing their ideas with less fear. It was amazing to witness, and that realization made me smile. I was not just changing my own story, I was helping my team find their voices as well. With every challenge Jordan threw my way, I felt myself getting stronger. I knew I would continue to encourage change, knowing that my determination today could lead to a better tomorrow. The journey was far from easy, but I felt hopeful that we could create a supportive team culture where everyone thrived. As the days turned into weeks, I began to notice real changes at work. I had spoken up, and my courage inspired others. One morning, a major presentation was on the horizon. It was crucial for our team, and the stress to perform well was palpable. We gathered in the conference room, and as we prepared, I could see nervousness in everyone's faces. It was a make-or-break moment for us all. Just as we were discussing our strategy, Jordan strolled in with a mocking smile. "Don't you wish you had better ideas?" they scoffed, clearly aiming to intimidate us. This time, instead of feeling afraid, I felt a sense of strength rise within me. I glanced around, and to my surprise, I saw Sarah, my colleague, stand up. "Jordan, we are working hard for this project, and we believe in our ideas," she said, her voice firm and steady. My heart swelled with gratitude as I watched her take a stand for our team. This was the small win we all needed. It felt amazing to stand united. Sarah's action reminded us that we were stronger together, and in that moment, I knew we could face Jordan's negativity as one. Other team members started to join in, offering their support to Sarah. "Yes, we are making great progress," Mark added with enthusiasm. It warmed my heart to see us rally around each other. The meeting then shifted from fear to focus. I stepped up, sharing our ideas with confidence. As I presented, points flowed from me more smoothly than before. Each time I looked at my teammates, they were nodding and smiling. Their belief in one another energized me and did wonders for our morale. I was reminded of how powerful it could be to stand by each other. When the presentation ended, Ms. Harper congratulated us. "Great work, team. You all showed incredible synergy," she said with praise. Her approval felt like a gift, affirming that we were heading in the right direction. I looked around and saw the joy on my colleagues' faces. We had done it together, despite the challenges we faced. That moment solidified my growth and showed me that unity makes all the difference. Soon after, I got a message from Sarah. She thanked me for helping encourage the team to share our voices. I felt grateful for this supportive response. It reminded me that our connections mattered and that speaking up had opened doors for valuable relationships. Now, I understood that no toxic person could take away our spirit if we supported each other. With this lesson in mind, I decided to continue building on our strengthened team foundation. Every meeting from then on would begin with positive affirmations. This could set a hopeful tone and remind everyone of our value and importance within the team. Being proactive became vital. Reaching out to my teammates regularly felt rewarding. I made it a habit to ask them about their thoughts, welcome their ideas openly, and provide support when needed. This simple shift enriched our teamwork and built trust among all of us. If you ever find yourself in doubt or fear, remember that communication is essential. Stand together with others because you are stronger as a group. Take small steps to make a real change. It may surround you with support you didn't know was there. Each positive moment we create will pull you closer to that brighter atmosphere you deserve. I could face any hurdle now, knowing my team was beside me. We had grown together and learned that respect and support lead the way to success. I couldn't wait to see what the future would hold for us all. Resolution. As weeks turned into months, I noticed that the atmosphere in the office had changed. My colleagues and I became more united and supportive. We shared laughter and ideas freely, and this positive energy helped everyone feel valued. It was incredible to see how much our morale grew, but I knew that I needed to make a final decision about my own path forward. Deep down, I felt it was time to fully confront the issues that had been holding me back. One afternoon, I sat in my favorite corner coffee shop, reflecting on my experience. I could see clearly how far I had come. I had turned from a timid employee into an advocate for change, not just for myself, but for my whole team. The thought brought a smile to my face. But I realized that I needed to decide what was next for my career. Could I continue to grow in this environment despite Jordan's behavior? I was determined to make a choice that aligned with my newfound confidence. Finally, I made the decision to set a meeting with Ms. Harper. I was prepared to share my thoughts not only on the project we'd been working on, but also about Jordan's role in our office culture. I knew I had to address the toxic behavior directly. Change wouldn't happen overnight, but I believed that opening a conversation could lead to help. When the day of the meeting arrived, I felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. I gathered my thoughts and walked into Ms. Harper's office. I spoke openly with her about my experiences and the issues that still lingered. Her surprising reaction was one of understanding and concern. "I appreciate you coming to me with this, Quinn. We need to ensure that our workplace is healthy for everyone," she said. Her acknowledgement filled me with hope. I felt strong as I shared my ideas about how we could improve communication and work relationships. After our powerful discussion, I saw real possibilities for growth in our office. It became clear to me that I would stay and be part of the change rather than running away from the problem. I made a commitment to myself that I would not let another person's negativity dictate my job experience. It felt uplifting to embrace this new mindset. I also set long-term career goals that were based on teamwork, inclusion, and communication. I wanted to continue developing my skills and grow into a true leader who could help others along the way. I found a new purpose in mentoring my colleagues and encouraging them to voice their ideas confidently. With every conversation I initiated and every positive action I took, my confidence blossomed. As we approached a new project meeting, I felt excited instead of anxious. I looked at my colleagues and imagined how we would work together beautifully. No one person demanded the floor. Instead, we lifted each other up. In the weeks that followed, Jordan began to change, too. Perhaps they sensed the new energy or realized that their attitude was no longer having an effect on me. I decided to keep my doors open for communication, even with those I found challenging. By expressing my perspective with respect, I built bridges instead of walls. Through this journey, I learned that defining my values and knowing what truly mattered helped me reclaim my power. I took a brave step forward. I inspired others and lit the way for a healthy working environment filled with support and respect. When we feel valued, we can achieve great things together. I was finally living a work life that felt rewarding. I was proud of who I had become. My focus was on personal growth and uplifting those around me. Looking to the future, I felt ready to embrace every challenge with courage and hope. After our successful discussions and teamwork, I couldn't help but feel more hopeful about the future. The changes we had begun to implement created a warm and supportive atmosphere. The tension that used to loom over us had shifted into a culture of encouragement and respect. Each meeting became a chance for all of us to contribute. We shared our ideas, and every voice was valued. The goals I had set for myself became clearer each day. Over the next few months, our team grew even closer. We set new projects that allowed each member to take the lead according to their strengths and talents. I felt proud to help mentor my colleagues. Together, we celebrated achievements and learned from setbacks. I learned just how important it was to have a team where everyone felt safe. I was inspired by their growth and progress, and I knew that our best work was ahead of us. As I reflected on where I started, I saw immense changes not only in my career but in me personally. I didn't allow fear or negativity to control my work conversations. I knew that my earlier struggles laid the foundation for my resilience now. Those experiences became stepping stones for confidence and new skills I was developing. With this new mindset, I felt prepared to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. In my spare time, I began attending workshops on leadership and communication. I wanted to sharpen the skills I had picked up during this journey. Networking with other professionals and gaining fresh perspectives allowed me to grow further. One afternoon, while speaking with a mentor, I received valuable advice: always be open to new opportunities. That message stuck with me. I promised myself to remain adaptable and to view challenges as chances to expand my knowledge. In that spirit of growth, I decided to participate in an upcoming leadership seminar. There, I expected to meet many inspiring people and broaden the support network that had already begun to flourish in my life. I was excited about using the skills I had learned to guide my future. While I felt content in my current position, I also wanted to explore what more I could achieve. I realized that embracing new opportunities meant not just addressing current challenges but also actively seeking new paths. Whether that would be in my current job or something new, I felt relaxed knowing that I could handle it. Having a toolkit of skills would prepare me for any workplace environment. As these thoughts flowed through my mind, I looked forward to what lay ahead. I felt like I was ready to take on more significant responsibilities, even if that meant following a new career path. The earlier moments of fear were fading. Looking back made me see the transformation I had undergone. Determined to continue fostering a healthy work life, I made plans to hold more team-building activities and workshops for my colleagues. Encouraging this kind of interaction helped strengthen the team even further. Every step forward would reinforce the good changes we had made together. I understood that my journey didn't stop here. Personally and professionally, I was eager to chase new goals and even greater heights. With a clear mind and an open heart, I believed I can overcome any obstacles in my way. Life is a series of opportunities, and I was ready to seize them. I felt inspired to foster the same courage within my team that I had discovered within myself. The future was bright, and I could finally see the path laid out ahead of me. I looked forward to every moment, energized and excited to explore what tomorrow might bring.